apologies for the delay. We were trying to figure out exactly who to go to here. Unfortunately, do not have the hand of Sonic Holik, but we are getting in just in time for the start of Sonic Holik and Random7HS, who I'm sure all of you know and love, for round 5 here. And it's looking like Darkness versus Kennen Ezreal. We found it. Is it Kennen Ezreal? I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pulling up their decks now because we weren't actually sure who we were getting into, so I didn't want to... The last thing I wanted to do was pull up someone's decks and then not do them. So, on the side of Sonic Holik, they're still loading. Zoe Lee Sin, Yordles, and yeah, Kennen Ezreal. Which I think this is only like the second Kennen Ezreal we've seen today.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, and like I mentioned earlier, you know, we saw some early. We haven't really seen much since then. Now we're finally seeing it pop up again in round number 5, but not sure, you know, again, if we're going to see a big showing in the top cut. I'm actually going to be very curious to see what the deck distribution is in the top cut once we make it to day 2 tomorrow.
All right, Darkness, Kennen Ezreal, Yordles. Okay, so they both brought Kennen Ezreal and Yordles, and then Lee Sin versus Darkness. Kind of the difference that we're looking at in lineups here.
Mm-hmm.
And Random on sort of the newer build of Darkness with the Yordle Explorer. Has splashed in Yordle Captain. I don't think that one's necessarily standard, but when we're looking at like the Yordles that are in this deck, Conchologist, Dark Ball Acolyte, Twisted Catalyzer, Stilted Robe Maker, everything's a Yordle. Vigar, which I don't think people really looked at Darkness and like thought of it as a Yordle deck, but then when you actually search it up and you see all the pieces kind of fall together, you're like, oh, well, you know, let's give that a shot.
Yeah, I do like the creativity there, adding that Yordle Captain, so we'll see if it's going to make an impact. I do want to address what just happened there. There was a Pokestick that came out to threaten one of the Kennens, and then it was notified. We have another Pokestick in hand. This is the argument, you know, I saw this a lot yesterday when we saw Kennen Ezreal. You know, I feel like Random maybe should have gone for that Pokestick. You know, you have to exhaust the tools out of the Ezreal Kennen player if you're actually going to get rid of those Kennens from the board. And, you know, I feel like the earlier in the game, obviously, is really your chance to do it. The later you get, the more tools Sonic is going to have to be able to recall or deny or notify. And at this point, too, especially with an Eye of the Dragon on field, this is going to be a long game. I will say, Darkness, I feel like can, you know, hold out a little bit longer than some decks. Maybe we can just get a big old Darkness later on in the game with a leveled Vigar and actually sneak out a win.
Maybe. I mean, there's not a lot of kill spells in the Kennen Ezreal, right? So you like Vigar will just get to sit on board more or less and rack up that Darkness damage, like you said. And I think the reason that Random's not going for the Pokesticks here is we're trying to like Darkness a Kennen and then Pokestick it in response to some kind of recall effect.
Possibly, yeah. Maybe that's the route we're going. Here we go. Here's a Darkness, and that's the other thing too.
Darkness with Pokestick back up in case there's a recall.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. Now let's see Pokestick. Now let's see if we have the answer.
This is nice because even if there's some kind of protection from Sonic, as long as it's not Twin Discipline, like if there's a recall or something, that's gonna fizzle the other Kennen. Okay, this is disaster scenario. Yeah, Random.
Yeah.
Throwing out the GG, knows he got, loses the Darkness damage. Kennen back into the deck as well as a Kennen into the hand.
Yep.
And more damage pushed onto the Vigar. Actually, the Vigar going to die to the Mark of the Storm.
Yeah, and there's the removal. Yep.
That went as poorly as it could have.
Whew, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, we do have a Rekindler to get Vigar back out. So, yeah, there's that, I guess.
What we also have is a dwindling life total against an Ezreal deck.
With 2 elusives on board.
Yeah.
And Dragonlings continuing to come. But the Yordle Captain doing some work, yeah.
The Yordle Captain feels a little overkill for me because when I'm playing Darkness, I feel like I'm not really worried about the stats of my units, if that makes sense. Like the Yordle Explorer is a fine little throw-in, but I feel like Yordle Captain disrupts what I want to be doing for the most part to just like give me something that I don't care about as much.
Well,
maybe 5/5 Senna is worth it.
I mean, yeah, there's 5/5 Senna. There's, you know, just the trading power is a lot better too, especially against some of these other Yordle decks. I mean, maybe you're able to actually trade down the board, but
is he equal or less power?
Yeah, you said 5/5 Senna. That was the first thing I just thought. I think it... good question. You know what?
Because I'm also wondering if he'll buff Ishtali Sentinel. Because she only has 4 power.
All right, you know what? Hold up. Let me check.
I'm surprised you didn't just click on it in game.
I have OBS. How many times do I have to tell you this, Boulevard?
I don't understand.
It's like 7 clicks to actually get there. It's a pain. All right, Yordle Captain is when you summon another ally with equal or less power.
Okay, so he hits everything in the deck.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Except leveled Senna.
Ooh.
What are you oohing at?
The Deny coming out onto the Darkness. Yeah. That was really weird. Oh, okay. It was like Inception there. On my live stream, it showed up, but the Darkness didn't show up in my broadcast on OBS, which is really trippy. All right, here we go. Ixtali Sentinel. This is going to start to pressure some damage onto the Nexus, but no additional Vigar to kind of back this up and continue on with that damage. I think this might level up Vigar. What's Darkness at right now? Like 4?
It might be at 0.
You mean 2?
Maybe. Oh, you mean... I thought you meant like the Vigar count?
It's like, wait, we went negative with Darkness? What's this new wizardry you're talking about here, Boulevard?
Yeah, 4 sounds correct to me. I'm just going to hop into my own spectator. You're useless. You can't click on anything.
There we go. Concussive Palm. And... all right, so this is going to push an additional 4 damage because Sonik is not committing any other blockers or anything like that. And here we go. Here's the double Darkness. And it is going to be, yep, 4 damage. So
I was right.
Look at that. It's like I meant to count the whole time. Alright, and alright. Another Kennen coming down is actually, yeah, that's a leveled Kennen as well, which is going to be a big problem for Random. And honestly, we've drawn a lot of cards. There very well might just be an Ezreal in hand as well. And this Kennen is coming down completely safe. There is 2 mini-morphs in hand, and that's one of the advantages Darkness does have in this matchup. You can't respond to a mini-morph. It just is what it is. It does its job. We're just going face with everything. We must have an Ezreal in hand. Or maybe not, no, because I feel like you'd want to do that with Ezreal on board unless we are doing this strictly because we're playing around Minimorph, right? We need to get these tools out of our hand while we still have them.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, so there's only mana for 1 Minimorph next turn on Random side. He's only at 11, but there's only the 1 elusive. I think that you are right in that Ezreal kind of needs to come down now and maybe even be backed up by a second Ezreal because Random still has a fairly wide board, and I think this Ishtali Sentinel is going to be able to block something, and I think that Sonik is really not in a position where he can afford to just be like recalling his units to dodge the lifesteal on the Ishtali Sentinel, but with Random so low, that feels like what you have to do, and then maybe you just rely on the top decks to fix things a little bit.
All right. See what Sonik does here. And you know, this is very crucial what Sonik does here. If we do just throw down the Ezreal, that kind of gives Random the advantage, I think, at least for this turn, because we do have that Minimorph. So you want to try to get some sort of commitment out of Random on the side of Sonik first, but I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do that. Like, I don't foresee Random, like, just playing Rekindler, right?
Probably not. I wonder if we're actually going to get a Minimorph here onto the Kennen's not what I expected, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, there it is. There's the Minimorph. Wait, what were you expecting?
The elusive.
What, attacking?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not what? I didn't say why not anything.
You're saying you didn't expect that the Shadow Assassin was going to attack?
No, I didn't. I thought the Minimorph was going to go on the Shadow Assassin.
Oh,
Kennen makes a thing when he's blocked.
Yeah, no. This Minimorph has Ezreal and Kennen written all over it all game. Like, that's the only thing you're Minimorphing.
Oh, there's a will.
That feels bad.
Can't even replay it this turn.
Oh, man.
Just gonna throw out a Conchologist, see what we can find. Vile Feast, actually, pretty nice pickup.
Yeah, it takes care of Shadow Assassin and gives you 1 extra health anyways. There's a Mark. Still seemingly no Ezreal.
Yeah, you imagine that Ezreal certainly would have been played there before the Mark
Yeah.
came, right?
Oh, yeah,
100%.
100%.
So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty safe to say at this point that there's just no Ezreal on the side of Sonic Holik.
And that's a good sign for Random. I mean, that is the problem, again, that you have to watch out for with Ken and Ezreal. It's very reliant on the Ezreal win con 9 times out of 10. So not having it here and another Vigar coming down that's probably going to level with this next Darkness is probably going to spell victory for Random. But let's see what Sonic has this turn.
Yep, Vigar is at 8 out of 12. Darkness is at 5 damage.
Nice. Okay.
So the question is, if Ezreal comes down, do you Darkness it or do you Mini-Morph it?
I think you probably want to Darkness it because then that might prompt Sonic to try to, play some stuff in response, try to get some of the Ezreal
Yeah, I don't
and
think
then you
there's
play
enough
Mini-Morph.
burst spells in Sonic's deck for you to be worried about dying from 6.
Exactly.
I think that you can just throw out the Darkness and then Mini-Morph if things get hairy, if they just throw a lethal amount of spells onto the stack.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, and just as we say that, not enough Mini-Morphs in the world. Oh boy.
Yeah, just just Vile Feast this elusive real quick, try to get that one squared away.
To get one unit off the board anyways. Oh man. So the Rekindler is a good blocker here, but obviously there is 2 Mark of the Storm, so we could actually preemptively stun that and then go in with everything. We do have a lot of units we could play. I think the consideration of Random here is the Stilted Roadmaker being played first to reduce the cost. But if you do that and Sonic comes in for an attack, then the Elusive can attack, but you do still have the Vile Feast, so I don't necessarily see a reason to not play Stilted Roadmaker. I mean, because if they have something like Twin Disciplines, they're going to have it. I mean, it doesn't really matter what you play.
Looks like we end up just going for Darkness onto the Shadow Assassin.
So here's the recall. All right, now here's the Vile Feast. See, and this is what I mean. I feel like you're better off playing Stilted Roadmaker. Yeah, and then you would have saved the mana, so it's why not play Stilted Roadmaker unless you're worried about them coming in for the attack next turn. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were going to fill your board with the Vile Feast, right?
I guess.
In terms of getting a blocker out, now you still have Mini-Morph mana.
Yeah, okay.
But definitely not a position that I envy here on the side of Random7HS.
No, this is tough.
I think the pass here... Oh, I was going to say... the pass there, I think, should greenlight Sonic to proactively use the marks that he has to stun a unit, since Random was unwilling to sort of throw down a 6th blocker to get board parity. Because, I mean, at the moment, Random can't block this elusive anyway.
Now, you can't block the elusive. The best we could hope for, I mean, you definitely don't want to Mini-Morph it. You want to, use that for something else. The Stress Defense would be 1 less damage. I highly doubt that's the route that we go.
Going for the kill on Vigar, it seems.
Yeah, and the Challenger, again, is going to ensure that there's a blocker, generate some more Mark of the Storms. There's another Mark of the Storm because there's another blocker committed. Oh, man, this is where things just get kind of insane with this deck. I used to always use the phrase machine gun with Ezreal, with Karma Ezreal. This really puts that phrase to the test. This, I think, is the new definition of machine gunning. So, it's insane.
The good news for Random is that when Sonic lines up one of their marks to kill a unit, we can miscall the Vigar. And then that is going to force Sonic to commit the other 2 marks to kill something else to try and force the 50-50.
Yep.
And we can even Stress Defense to save whatever Sonic lines it up to if we really want to guarantee the Vigar.
Alright, here we
go. I feel like you should have taken aim at a Conchologist there.
Yeah.
Unless you really didn't want Vigar to revive with the Yordle Explorer on field.
Yeah, it seems like that's the issue here. But now we're going to Stress Defense.
Stress Defense is going to make this all better.
I don't understand what the importance is of just making sure the Vigar doesn't have 5. I mean, are we more likely to kill it at 4? I guess it's a difference between 4 marks having to be used and 6 marks. to kill it. Because I guess Vygar is really the only threat right now, if we're able to level him up. But we can't play Sentinel and Darkness in one turn.
No.
Or at least play Darkness, then Sentinel, then the other Darkness, right? So
like, this Darkness is at 6 damage. If you play the Sentinel here and then you Darkness, Sonik has to open attack, or you just Darkness for lethal.
Yeah.
There is something to be said for that. Granted, like, there's denies, there's nopifies. It's a sticky situation. But Doza, I'm starting to feel like Random might actually be able to claw this one out.
It's doable, yeah. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You know, Random does have some staying power with this Darkness deck. It's not like long term, I think Sonik would eventually be able to take it. The problem is Sonik can't afford to sit back and relax like this deck usually can in matchups, because if that happens, Darkness just gets stronger with, like we're seeing here, this Vygar level up. It'll eventually just one-shot you because Vygar sticks around and just increases Darkness to ridiculous power levels. So I think that's what we're seeing here. Random, if we can survive one more turn, we're Gucci.
Okay, this is the opportunity. Random needed to play a unit to maintain board parity. There could be... I was going to say, if Ezreal comes down now, that's actually just game over. Well, you don't have the mini-morph, but not the case. Sonik still does not have it, plays a naked Kinku Wayfinder, and now Random just not quite at lethal. It's only a 7 damage Darkness. Will need to survive this combat first.
No top deck to Ezreal either. Otherwise, or maybe we don't play it there, just because there's that Darkness in hand.
Yeah, just throwing out the Darkness at the Pennon. And Random has lethal once this stack resolves and we get the Ishtali Sentinel. You can just aim both Darkness at the Nexus.
Oh man, I can't believe Random pulling this one out.
Lack of Ezreal. You said it at the start of the day.
Yep, this is the one problem of this deck. It's one of the reasons why, and I still can't remember that card's name. That 6 cost draw 2 +1/+1. That new Ionia card, I've been playing it in this deck almost entirely because it has a draw 2 attached to it. Because I'm actually impatient is really the real reason for that. There's the Ezreal. There's the after the Darkness is used. Wait a second.
There's a mini morph. What? I guess the pass doesn't really matter because like you just wait for the card to be committed.
Yeah, wait. Let's. And
I got scared for a second there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The card that you were thinking of
it's a really weird, obscure name.
Seinen Thousand Tail.
Seinen Thousand Tail. Yeah, that draw 2 is actually pretty huge. In addition to the deep meds.
Really? The draw 2 is huge. That's crazy.
Anyways, just finding the Ezreal earlier. Because if we found the Ezreal earlier, I think Sonik would have had a better shot at winning. But again, I do think Darkness is one of the better matchups for Ken and Ezreal. Or sorry, has a better matchup against Ken and Ezreal. That's what I tried to say there. Because of the mini morphs, right? And because it can outlast Ken and Ezreal in terms of getting the Darkness up there in strength. So I think that's what we just saw there. So Random taking home a victory. Going to go up 1-0 versus Sonic Holik.
Are we going to finally get to see Yordles play today? Both these players brought it. It's been banned both times. Or are we about to just get another Ken and Ezreal running over a Lee Sin deck? Or worse, a Ken and Ezreal mirror.
Okay.
Random gets to play Yordles.
Wait, that was... Okay, yep, okay. Yordles versus... Okay.
I have a rant about Yordles.
What? Oh, okay, come on. What, is it the same rant I've seen on Twitter for the last week straight?
I've only seen one person have this rant.
Okay.
What do you think it is? I'm just going to start it.
I was just saying the Explorer.
You should not be playing Team.
I've said the same thing.
I can't imagine why people put it in. You should be playing Fizz. And I have 5 reasons.
Okay, so... Here's the deal. I said the same exact thing last night.
Sure.
And Teemo actually multiple times ended up coming in pretty big.
Okay, well, my Fizzes have come in pretty big. So
I know. Well, and Fizz, see, like Fizz also gets buffed, right? So Fizz is going to be a 3-2. But the Shrooms, the Shrooms just poke a little bit of extra damage. So, generally speaking, I agree with you.
Attack, you also probably just deal that extra damage.
I don't know. Possibly, yeah. You could argue both ways, but I agree with you. I agree.
Especially for tournaments. 1, Gangplank's still popular. No one seems to be banning that. Do you know what Make It Rain does? Do you know what Fizz does to Make It Rain?
Yeah, yep.
That's reason number 1. Reason number 2, the champion spell.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
what am I going to do with Puff Caps when I could get a Rally
These are all the same things
rally.
I said. These are all the same things I said.
3. Teemo's not leveling up. If he is, you're playing the deck wrong.
We saw
Maybe
we
you
saw
drew
level.
3 Lecturing Yordle, and that's why you leveled the Teemo.
We saw
that. You know what else Lecturing Yordle levels? Fizz. You know what Fizz does when he hits the Nexus? Makes a card. That's good stuff.
It's literally what we saw happen, though. Teemo leveled up. So,
yeah, well, if Fizz leveled up, you'd be in a better spot.
Probably.
I don't know. I took Drissoft's word for it. I ran Fizz on ladder last night. Fizz won me like 4 games that Teemo would not have won me.
Yeah, I tend to agree with all the sentiments that you just stated. So
4. Teemo's
we're still
level
going.
animation is ugly. Fizz's is cool.
Wow, that's what we're reducing this to, huh? Is the level up animation? All right.
It's the same reason people put Rumble in any deck. They think it's cool.
Rumble, yeah, I'm actually disappointed with how much Rumble we're seeing. Like
how much or how little? Because we did see it earlier. I think Shaddox had it in their Draven Scion. I think it was Shaddox.
That's not the greatest. It's probably the
Someone
worst.
had it in their Draven Scion.
In my opinion, it's the worst out of the champions that got released. So.
There were only what 4 champions?
Yeah.
I'd say Rumble's unanimously the worst. It's probably like Kennen's the best, Pantheon's the second best, then Ahri, then Rumble. I don't feel like that's a hot take at all.
No, it's spot on.
Maybe you argue Pantheon versus Ahri, but
depends. I feel like Ahri is gonna take a lot of testing to get to like a competitive deck. Like there's a lot of different interactions I think that people have to try out with her.
I have been surprised at how the Ahri decks and the Kennen decks tend to look near exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
Even if they're not running Kennen.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see a little stun onto the Poppy here, plus a little bit of damage.
And Kennen close to leveling up. We're getting there. Also going to tail the dragon on the field, which is something.
4 out of 5 Kennens.
Which you gotta. I mean, there's probably some sort of recall in hand, so I imagine we go into next turn with leveled Kennen.
This is about to be like a what is this? Like a 4/5 Vandal Commando once Poppy attacks.
3. Yeah. Yep. This is what it does. This is the in my eyes, like I mentioned earlier, the new kind of mid-range Bannerman. Is this to me? This is just like old school mid-range Demacia, except now it's with a bunch of Yordles.
Also, I hate Arena Mechacaster. I have been offered this card on nearly every Vandal City Mare I have played since the patch dropped. I have taken it like twice.
Isn't that plus
Mostly
2 attack,
because I've been playing Tree and I don't want Noxus.
Yeah, I don't think that card's good either.
In this deck, though, I think it's actually pretty nice. It's like the one thing that you're going to get value off of the Vandal City Mare with. I think people really overestimate how many main deckable cards get reduced by Vandal City Mare when playing on ladder, at least. Because I've had a lot of people kill the Mare, and it's like, my deck is mainly just mono Vandal City units. I already played my Mare card. I'm tapped out.
All right, well, we did not a lot of damage there. So the jump blockers and all right, there it is.
There's Kennen. There's the level up.
So
look at the little guy.
If we also have a recall for this ephemeral Kennen, that's bad for Random.
I mean, we have the Kennen in hand.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's the recall right there, and that means probably the Yordle Captain going to go down here unless we commit the Sharp Sight. Wow. Yep, things are looking up for Sonik here. Now, see, this is where this deck just becomes ridiculous. If we already have an Ezreal in hand, it's like game.
Oh yeah,
it's just over.
Forget about it.
It's over. That's why this deck is so nuts, and that's why the last game we saw it have such trouble is because there was no Ezreal this early. So wow.
Oh man,
that's okay. That's
a lot of Kennens.
Sonic. You know Kennen's leveled already, right? We're good. We're good. This actually might mean there is also another Wayfinder in hand. Generally, this is the sort of play you go for when you need to start shuffling Kennens into your deck, and you really only do that when you can get them right back out. So,
yeah, and it looks like Sonik is actually going to go for the kill onto the second Yordle Captain.
And you know what this means, too? You're really going to plan out your turns, especially Random's going to be aware of this. This means that on Random's next attack turn, there will be a stun with 2 damage available.
Yeah, things are looking very poor for Random right here.
Yeah. Curious to see what else Sonic's got going for them, though. Because it's just very limited board space, so we have to start recalling some stuff. We could recall, and that, see, now here's the problem. If we're relying on recalling the Wayfinder that's on board, right now, until those seedlings go bye-bye, we still can't even actually actively play a Wayfinder to get 2 more cannon out of the deck, so it's going to be a little difficult this turn navigating. I think it's kind of an awkward turn for Sonik. Cannon going to go in, though. This gets us another one.
There's no good blocker on the side of Random for this either. This is a doozy doza.
This is a doozy doza. There's a statement.
Yep. At the very least, Random's going to get to attack with the Mecha Caster next turn.
Yep.
The downside is that he's not going to deal any damage. And Sonik doesn't really care about getting rid of these ephemeral cannons that they're getting.
Oh, here we go. We're recalling another cannon.
Yeah, the amount of cannons that we have in hand is just really compounding for Sonik, and I don't think that Random can really keep up with the removal engine that's happening, and losing the Poppy is huge as well.
Alright, we're playing a cannon again. We're doing... Oh boy, Ranger's Resolve might be not bad to take right now.
See, if that was a Fizz, and we could play our Fizz and then play a second Fizz, we could rally. We could take the stunned unit out of combat to rally.
And then not attack with the stun unit?
I'm just saying, whatever gets lined up, those 2 Mark of the Storms, we just take that one out, we rally, we're chilling. Right. But no, we have Teemo. Ooh.
Oh, wow. So, yeah,
now... It's actually just going for 2 stuns rather than kills here on Sonic's side. Should have
Yep.
no problem closing this game out. I think even if Sonik doesn't find Ezreal, just because you are against a Demacia deck that really needs to maintain its board space and presence, that once you kind of deplete it of its board, it's going to have too hard of a time building everything back up, especially a deck like Yordle's, where it's a little bit more like combo piece oriented, where you want to get your Explorer or your Captain down and then play multiple units.
So, and this is why I mentioned earlier, we were talking about if Yordles has an advantage in this matchup. I think you said it was something like, I don't know, 40% win rate for the Ken and Ez, right? So,
yeah.
So, and this is why, and this is why I was so unsure of whether or not that was actually the case, because this is the sort of game that we saw a lot yesterday. And I think this just comes down to, again, and this is typical of most, control aggro type matchups, where if the control deck is able to get to a certain point, in this case, probably turn 6 or 7, and have a solid handle on the game, it's not really going to allow the more aggressive deck, and in this case, the Yordle deck, to come back, because it is able to deal with these units. It dealt with the Poppy, it dealt with the Yordle Captain, to avoid the board getting too big and out of control. And now that we've gotten to this point, I don't think there's a world where Random can actually build up another board to actually threaten lethal at any time, especially with Sonik being at 19.
No, and once Kennen levels, it gets a little harder. Like, you see the Pokey Stick in Random's hand. That is a card that I feel like is mostly in here for the Kennen matchup, but once Kennen levels, it's out of Pokey Stick range, and that makes things a lot more difficult. Now, we do fizzle a couple of Kennens here with the group shot that we got off the Conchologist, but it doesn't matter.
There's like 5 in deck. It's like, it doesn't matter.
But like you had said, though, last night you were seeing these Kennen decks run into issues where they just cannot find the Ezreal and really can't close out the game without it. But as we mentioned earlier, this is a Demacia deck. It looks like Random shouldn't have too much to do if you can clear out this board. But a top deck rally with the Mecha Caster still available and an attack token, Doza, are we seeing a little bit of a turning point here?
I mean, maybe. Is this Mecha Caster going to be the save-all, end-all, be-all here? I mean,
Teemo is an elusive.
And there is Rally, like you mentioned. I don't know. I mean, usually I'd say no, but Sonik doesn't have a whole... okay, never mind. I knew it. You know what? I'm so stupid. Why did I said this earlier?
So if Random just attempts to pass here, Sonik probably doesn't want to lose out on these marks, wants to mark these units. That gives Random an opportunity to freely play the Mecha Caster.
I literally said earlier that there's probably another Wayfinder being set up. I don't even know why I ever doubted that they would not be fine.
This is going to be a big attack, though. not a huge attack, but a big attack.
Yeah,
They're
the
different.
elusive unit being gone is a pretty big deal. In these Kinku Wayfinders, I'm sure you're a-okay to
Oh man, I,
throw to the bus.
I was gonna say at least you force blocks out of your opponent, but you actually don't. This is only 18 damage.
Yeah, and one of these might get recalled. Because there's some merit to saving a Wayfinder to start the shuffling train all over again with Kennen, but it doesn't look like we're gonna do that. We're just gonna sacrifice him to the gods so we can keep everything going. And yeah, this is rough. So 3 are gonna get generated. If any blocks, this is what's crazy about Kennen. It's like, yeah, I just block it to kill it, right? No, that's actually not how that works. Instead we just take it all to the face, so that's fun. Rangers Resolve.
Still no Ezreal for Sonic though.
Do we play? Okay, yeah, yep, Rangers Resolve. So this is good. With the Mecha Caster and the Rally, are we able to deal 12, and the Sharp Sight, are we able to deal 12 damage next turn?
Yes. Assuming Sonic falls asleep on the pass button, you will be able to attack for 14 elusive damage.
We could also, if more mana is or no, now there's another stun. Wait.
Oh, I think you're just dead here.
Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah. And Sonic taking the victory with Ken and Ez. Going to tie up the series 1-1, taking it to a game 3.
Which means we actually don't know what deck Random left up yet. We don't know if it's the Yordles or the Ken and Ezreal.
Wait.
Or the Lee Sin or the Yordles, rather.
See? It's the same thing. See? It's literally, in my eyes, Ken and Ezreal plays very similar to Lee Sin.
Sounds like you're playing both those decks wrong. I mean, they're both Eye of the Dragon decks, so there definitely is some overlap in the playstyle.
Same thing. No, it's mainly what I'm referring to is the waiting game to find Ezreal or find Lee Sin. It very much feels like you have trouble closing out the game unless you find one of those champions. And like you said, at least up until we've gotten the Wounded White Flame, it's a little harder to pillar on something to win without Lee Sin. Maybe that'll change with the Wounded White Flame. Who knows? But there we go. We got the Lee Sin deck. Up next. So now, same deal. If my memory serves me, I think I saw this somewhere as well, but it also makes sense. This Yordle deck, if it's off to, you know, the typical start that it has, which we do see a Yordle Explorer in hand, should be able to overtake this Lee Sin deck in these early turns here. Or at least that's what
one would assume.
Yeah, Random will be looking to do that anyways.
Yeah. Eye of the Dragon is a little bit of a stopgap, but because you are playing things like Fleet Feather Tracker, it's not as bad. Also, important to note, while Lecturing Yordle will not typically kill Eye of the Dragon, it can kill the Dragonling on the turn that you play it. And I think with Double Explorer, like, Random's gotta feel like he's in a pretty okay spot.
You gotta love it. The Eye of the Dragon taking the attack because Random doesn't want to lose the Fleet Feather or the Yordle Explorer. Really goes to show you gotta think before you throw blockers in front of things, even though it seems like it might work out for you.
Yeah, Sonic with the appropriate emote.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate, yeah, not gonna lie.
Ooh, is this gonna be, if this is
another Eye of the Dragon?
Okay.
Yep.
I was gonna say, if you go for the Calibrum, I think that might be game over. Especially if you try to kill the 3/3 and just lose to the Rangers Resolve. I think second Eye is a lot safer.
So, well, yeah, I think generally you always want to do second Eye because there's something to be said about thinning the deck as well. But
Random,
oh boy, this is a good start.
He's got a contingency plan for Pale Cascade, but he is just saying you don't have Twin Discipline. And he was right. Ooh, second Lecturing.
Yeah, these lecturings might actually end up being a big deal. Ooh, wow. All right, yep.
I don't think you can really afford to protect... Yeah, I don't think you ever protect the Explorer there because you have to get down this double Lecturing Yordle.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, and, you know, the Poison Darts, well, I mean, next turn, one of the Poison Darts will take out one of the Dragonlings, but...
Yeah, and then it looks like we are setting another one up for the Fleet Feather Tracker to challenge on the following turn.
Yep. Ooh, Pokey Stick, okay. Shroom's already doing work. Love to see it. Actually, probably not.
At 3 out of 15.
Well, you'd probably not want to draw Shrooms yet because the Dragon Links are just going to heal it back up anyways, so. Alright, do we kill an Eye of the Dragon? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. We do technically have other tools to threaten it, like the Sharp Sight, if Sonic goes for something. But, I mean, Twin Disciplines puts it out of range of Sharp Sight. So then we'd have to quit Sharp Sight and Pokey Stick. And at that point, I mean, you know, you got one mana left.
We just have to commit Sharp Sight and the Poison Dart.
Or the Poison Dart. Yeah, or the Poison Dart. But we are going to do the Sharp Sight.
See where that takes us.
Which just still seems so bad, right? I mean, you have less mana than the Lee Sin player, and that's never a good thing when you're trying to play the game of, you know, winning out on the trades back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, you need to do what you need to do to kill these Eye of the Dragons. They are things that will just, like, stopgap your entire plan, and it's really hard to get that take over the board and just rally when there's Dragon Links consistently, not only blocking your path, but actively being detrimental to you pushing damage. You know, you might sneak through 1 or 2 attackers and just your opponent's still at 20 life when all is said and done. Sonic has the Lee Sin on curve. Here comes another Lecturing Yordle, but I don't know if that's going to be anywhere near enough, Doza.
Nope, not looking like it. I mean, listen, Random kind of had, you know, one of the better starts. Double Yordle Explorer. Sonic, I'm going to go out on a limb and say double Eye of the Dragon trumps double Yordle Explorer.
Especially with double Sonic Wave.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And there's a level up on the Lee Sin. Everything coming up. Sonic, Holik, previous online League Series champion, showing Random how it's done.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, things are looking up in the world for Sonic here. There's one pull with the Lee Sin.
And this is a... I'm not sold on the current iterations of Yordles. I mean, we see it happen to Random this game where you get really loaded up on the spell side of things, and even though you drew your Yordle Explorer, you don't really get the kind of hand that's going to take advantage of it, because if Random's playing sort of the standard build that I've been seeing, it's like triple Ranger's Resolve, triple Pokey Stick, triple Sharp Sight, triple Rally. It definitely makes for some clunky hands and the double single combat. In what is more of a like combo-oriented mid-range deck than we've seen in the past. And by combo-oriented, I just mean like you need to draw Yordle Explorer or Yordle Captain and then play your units.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Shield Vault coming in hot. Gonna stun out.
Oh, we're doing it. Yordles. It's the Sharp Sight single combat. And if this doesn't work, I think Random might just concede.
I mean, there's 4 cards and 5 mana. What do you think?
Even if this works.
Or nope, 5.
There's still Eye of the Dragons you need to get through.
And no, wait.
Guiding Touch does mean this is probably happening.
Yeah, that's a good sign for Random. Did we top deck an open?
No, that's a terrible sign for Random. You just need one more thing and there's Barrier.
Oh, wait. Okay, nope. Hail,
yeah.
Nope. Never mind. Sorry, I was thinking like digging for the response spell, not the barrier. So, oh, I forgot. That's right. We have this neat little barrier we get every single turn on Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah, did you just forget what Lee Sin did?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that actually
he didn't even like leave the meta for the opening weekend. I think Lee has been one of the more popular decks that we've seen this tournament.
Lee has been not only more popular this tournament, but I think for the longevity, like since they finally settled on like what Lee Sin's stats are going to be a while back, it's just stuck around the entire time and is kind of ebbed and flowed with the meta.